Good morning, boys and girls. And maybe it's not morning for you. Maybe it's afternoon when you're looking at this, or maybe it's the evening. I don't know what day of the week it is, but we're going to read a book because, I just love reading books. So we're going to read a book. It's one of my favorites. Again, I can't get these are all my favorites. So this one is called Ferdinand. And if you look at the cover of the book, because shh, don't tell anybody. But if you look at the cover of the book, you might know what the book is about. And that gets your brain ready. And that's pretty cool. Okay, so as you see, it's got big letters Ferdinand. It's a book by Munro Leaf, and the drawings or the illustrator is Robert Lawson. He's a bull. We're the Bailey Bulls. This is pretty cool. This is gonna be a great story. So just pay attention. I'm gonna try to read it again. I'm gonna use some technology here, and hopefully it'll go really, really well. So let me just push play and then get that out of there. You ready? Ferdinand. It's the story of Ferdinand. There we go. Let's see what we got here. And it says The Story of Ferdinand, illustrated by Robert Lawson. Here we go. Once upon a time in Spain. That's a long way away. That's where my family's from originally. There was a little bull, and his name was Ferdinand. He's kind of cute. All the other little bulls he lived with would run and jump and butt their heads together. But not Ferdinand. See, he's just walking out with some grass. He had a favorite spot, out in the pasture, under a cork tree. Cork comes from trees. It was his favorite tree, and he would sit in its shade all day and smell the flowers. Oh. Sometimes his mother, who was a cow, would worry about him. She was afraid he would be lonesome all by himself. Look at the mama, worried about her babies, just like your mama. Why don't you run and play with the other little bulls and skip and butt your head? She would say. But Ferdinand would shake his head. I like it better here, where I can sit just quietly and smell the flowers. His mother saw that he was not lonesome, and because she was an understanding mother, even though she was a cow, she let him just sit there and be happy. So he's just doing his thing, and he's happy. As the years went by, Ferdinand grew and grew and grew until he was very big and strong. Woo! Look at him. All the other bulls who had grown up with him in the same pasture would fight each other all day. They would butt each other and stick each other with their horns. What they wanted most of all was to be picked to fight at the bullfights in Madrid. Oh, Madrid, it's a big city in Spain. But not Ferdinand. He still liked to sit just quietly under the cork tree and to smell the flowers. He's a big bull, still wanted to smell the flowers. One day, 5 men came in very funny hats to pick the biggest, fastest, roughest bull to fight in the bullfights in Madrid. They were all looking at him like, All the other bulls ran around snorting and butting, leaping and jumping so the men would think that they were very, very strong and fierce and pick them. Look at them. Awesome. Ferdinand knew they wouldn't pick him, so he didn't care. So he went out to his favorite cork tree to sit down. He didn't look where he was sitting. Instead of sitting on a nice cool grass in the shade, he sat on a bumblebee. Well, if you were a bumblebee and a bull sat on you, what would you do? You would sting him, and that's just what this bee did to Ferdinand. Wow, did it hurt? Ferdinand jumped up with a snort. He ran a puffing and snorting, butting and pawing the ground as if he was crazy. Woo! Toro loco. Woo! Woo! Jumping all around. The 5 men saw him, and they all shouted for joy. Here was the largest and fiercest bull of all, just the one for the bullfights in Madrid. Oh my gosh, look at him. He is going crazy. So they took him away for the bullfight in a cart. They're dragging him through. What a day it was. Flags were flying, bands were playing. All the lovely ladies had flowers in their hair. Galeria. Woo! They had a parade into the bull ring. First came the banderilleros with long, sharp pins with ribbons on them to stick in the bull and make him mad. Woo! They're going to poke him. Woo! Ouch. Next came the picadores, who rode skinny horses, and they had long spears to stick the bull and make him even madder. That's not nice. Then came the matador, the proudest of all. He thought he was very handsome and bowed to the ladies. He had a red cape and a sword and was supposed to stick the bull last of all. Thank you. Then came the bull, and you know who that was, don't you? Ferdinand. Look at him. He looks a little what? Looks a little scared. They called him Ferdinand the Fierce, and all of the banderilleros were afraid of him, and the picadores were afraid of him, and the matador was scared stiff. Ferdinand ran to the middle of the ring, and everyone shouted and clapped, "Woo! Yay, Ferdinand!" They thought he was going to fight fiercely and butt and snort and stick his horns around. They're all going, "Woo, Ferdinand!" And he's in the middle of the ring. But not Ferdinand. When he got to the middle of the ring, he saw the flowers on all the lovely ladies' hair, and he just sat down quietly and smelled. He wouldn't fight and be fierce no matter what they did. He just sat and smelled. And the banderilleros were mad, and the picadores were madder, and the matador was so mad that he cried because he couldn't show off his cape and sword. So they had to take Ferdinand home. And for all I know, he is still sitting there, still, under his favorite cork tree, smelling the flowers just quietly. He's very happy. The end. So that story is a great story, and it makes me think a little bit. Why was Ferdinand, why didn't he want to fight? What was his favorite thing to do? That's right. He liked to just sit quietly and smell the flowers. So this is a good lesson for you. Just remember to be yourself. I love black olives on my pizza. I love them. But I do not like lima beans. And no matter what you do, I don't like lima beans. And that's okay because that's who I am. That's what I am. Your favorite color might be red. Your favorite color might be blue. Your favorite color might be purple. It doesn't matter. So just remember to just be you. Always just be you. And it's okay to be you no matter what. Don't change who you are, but always be the best you. Okay? Remember, Mr. Valdez wants you to read every day. It's really good for your brain. And just know that you're a superstar. Hang in there and have a great day.